My name's Dr. Adrian Rios, and today I want to talk to you about aspects of education resiliency and, basically my testimony growing up, my upbringing, all of the above, and talking about pathway to success. So if you're in for that, go and give me a thumbs up at this time. Very good, very good. All right, so I am born and raised in the city of Santa Ana, California, the heart and soul of Orange County. We are right in the center, the county seat of Orange County, California. Um, and growing up in the city was a very tough time in the early 70s. It was challenging within all odds and all adversity. So starting up as a young kid, I was challenged because I grew up down the street from my grandparents' house. And when I was 5 years old, I literally remember this at 5 years of age, I went to my grandfather and I said, Grandpa, can you read this to me? It was paper that I was holding in my hand. Can you read this to me? And my grandfather said, go to your grandmother. So at that time, I run to my grandmother and I say, Grandma, can you read this to me? And she says, go back to your grandpa. And I ran to my grandpa and I said, Grandpa, can you read this to me? And he says, go back to your grandma. So there I was stuck between two grandparents, and realizing at the age of 5 that my grandparents could not read. So that was very detrimental for me to realize that at such a young age. On top of that, being raised in an area that was impoverished, very difficult, very challenging, uh, crime ridden, overpopulated, just not many. And I say this respectfully because I, still go to the community I was raised in and give back. A lot of people were just on the survival mode mentality. The survival mode mentality for me was the emphasis of uh, getting up in the morning, thanking the man upstairs for another beautiful day, and whatever came my way, whether there was food on the table, opportunity there. It was just one step at a time. Whatever came my way, you accept. If you see something, you don't say anything, you just learn to live with it. And having that mentality has many detrimental effects, long-term effects within, as an adult, you can establish some type of PTSD for things that you may have experienced or grown up with thinking that it's socially acceptable. So um, I just want to say that having that mentality is not something that any child should be able to have to adopt or go through and have suffrage, because I was raised in an environment where you don't go see a therapist. You just accept things the way they are. You meet the challenges, you face the challenges, whether they're difficult, whether they're uh astronomical, whatever the situation is, it's a difficult situation. You just meet the challenge and you'll overcome. So by day, it was, a great lifestyle by, having wonderful parents, being raised with wonderful parents. Um, my father, at the age of 13, his last year of schooling was in 8th grade. I don't like to use the other word of just stopping, but I he pulled me aside to say, son, I need you to be better than me. I need you to establish something and be greater. So for me to know that my dad was crying inside of himself because he didn't get a chance to go to high school. And for us, like I said, it was socially accepted. Just, oh, okay, that was the norm. That's all I knew. So I told myself, I said, Dad, don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna do whatever I can to reach that milestone and be successful, to represent our name, our last name, to represent your last name. So by day, it was, making sure that there was food on the table, making sure that I was going to be picked up from school, making sure that, I was walking home to a safe pathway to make it home. Um, and then by nightfall is when things became treacherous. Just a lot of people hanging outside, uh, a lot of people having no means for doing their what they were supposed to, like taking care of business as far as the priority one wasn't going home to do homework. It was just hanging out. And I was raised with on my block, my area, I was raised with about 81 that I've counted, 81 friends, whether it was female or male, that I was raised with within the given area. And, hearing some of the conversations that were um, that were talked about were just doing things to live life to the fullest on that day. They didn't see the repercussions or the aftermath of what could happen or what effect it could be. So from time to time, I would have a friend that would make a decision, and you wouldn't see him for a long time. We're like, what happened to so and so? And the friend would be gone for a year or two, come back, and you really didn't know or look into the gist of what just happened. So I was the youngest of four brothers. I looked up to all of my brothers and I learned from all their mistakes. My brothers made a lot of mistakes, and being the young one of the bunch, I tried to realize that what I had to do is I had to better myself. Even though my brothers grew up trying to tell me what to do consistently within every decision, every every challenge that was in front of me, they had the voice of the voice of reason telling me what to do. So I had to, suck it up within myself to say, you know what? You can listen, you could take it in the stride, but you got to make your own decision to do what's right. So that was wisdom that I think I was blessed with, to say, I'm gonna do what I'm told, but I'm gonna do it my way. And having looked at all the mistakes that my brothers were making, I had my father on this side, I had my mother on this side of my shoulders. And I said, behind my back, I want to represent my last name to the fullest, to say that I want to be the first. I want to be the first to break the cycle. I want to be the first to overcome the barriers. I want to be the first to show resiliency. I want to be the first to overcome and do what's right. But we have to look at what is the norm. So I'm going to share a screen with you really quick. And this may be the norm for one, but it's not the norm for others. And everyone, I'm assuming everybody has heard. Sorry, let me get this out of the way. Everybody's heard about Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of learning needs. So there's physiological, fortunate to, breathe, have food, water, etc. Safety, safety, security of body, of employment, resources, love, belonging, friendship, family, self-esteem, morality, creativity, and spontaneity, self-actualization. So this is something, this pyramid that is implemented is something that it came to terms with me at a later in life. So I didn't know about this growing up. This is something that we think that we should be adopting as the norm, but there's a lot of people that are missing the physiological. There's a lot of people that are missing the safety. There's a lot of people that are missing the love and belonging. And a lot of people seek that love and belongingness with a friend or other members that they hang out with or they're raised with. They have to build upon their own self-esteem. They have to call upon themselves and motivate themselves. They have to look in the mirror to tell themselves, what does it take to be successful? So I developed a mentality within myself to try to grow and to try to say, I am the best. I want to be the best. I want to be number one. I want to rise to the top. I want to go through the finish line. I want to I want to face adversity, but overcome it. I want to show that resiliency. So that was my mentality to be able to keep going forth. But that came with a lot of error. That came with a lot of trial by fire. That came with a lot of error of never giving up, of wanting to move forward. So, like I said, being the youngest child, I wanted to be able to be different. I wanted to be different, but it was tough because each day, day in, day out, it was tough for me to face that daily adversity of whether it was, being around people making bad choices. I never saw and I never judged my friends, never judged my brothers to say that they're bad people. I just thought they were making bad choices. So from their choices, from their difficulties, from them not doing well at times, I said, you know what? I grew this this sense of security to say that I have to do what is right for myself. And it's almost like it's a decision that you can't really turn your back on anybody, but you have to make a decision for yourself to be that pillar of success to try to move forward. So moving along, as I graduated high school, as I was going to junior high, high school, there was a lot going on. And as I'm in high school, I ended up graduating, um, you know, graduating, and there I was, uh, 18 years old. I was there at the community college, and I did not know what I wanted to do. So I enrolled at Santa Ana College, and as I'm at Santa Ana College, I was there in the quad, and I uh, did not know what I wanted to do. So I'm sitting there in the quad, and tears are running down my eyes, and I'm saying to myself, "What what am I going to do with my life?" All my friends had taken off. Some of them moved out of the state. So I just wanted to be able to set precedents. So while I was in the quad, some girl comes up to me and she says, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I said, "No, I'm just feeling a sense of loneliness. I don't know exactly what pathway I'm going to take." So I decided to enroll myself in the community college. I was taking two classes at a time, and passing my classes with C's. Then I decided to continue, and I developed into taking three classes, which was 9 units, and then I took a fourth class, which was 12 units. And then I was a full-time student after realizing what it took to become a full-time student. So I ended up staying at the community college for extra time because of the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was taking classes I didn't need to be able to transfer. But once I took those classes, I figured that it was building the foundation for myself. So I had to teach myself and reteach myself to skill build. I had to teach myself to read at a higher level. I had to teach myself to be disciplined. So what I would do right after when I started community college, I was at home and I would dedicate my Saturdays to walk to the library. And I will walk to the library and all right, I apologize. So I want to say that I would walk over to the public library, the Santa Ana Public Library at the time, and I would sit there and just desire to be successful. And it was my time, my time within my mindset to say that I have to find a way, I have to make a way to be successful. So I would read, I would do my homework at the library for 2 hours, and then at that time, I would treat myself by looking at the sports page. And then once I was done taking a 30-minute break by looking at the sports page, I would come back to study for 2 more hours. And then I would walk home, feed myself, take a nap, get up, and then watch football. So that was my motivation to get things going because I was trying to keep my mindset intact of what it was to be successful, and sports was my outlet to be able to watch success students or student athletes be successful at the time. So once I got it together, I decided to transfer out of Santa Ana Community College And I went ahead and enrolled into Cal State Fullerton, and I became a speech communication major with an art minor. And I was the first and the only out of 81 friends in my whole neighborhood that took advantage of getting a quality education. We all grew up in the same neighborhood. We all hung out. We walked to school. A lot of us walked to school together. We came back, and I was the only one that took advantage of that aspect. Um, so in that opportunity. So there I was at Cal State Fullerton, just realizing to be honest, I felt like that I was there, and a lot of the times I felt like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. It was like so unreal. And I had some great mentors. I try to get involved with the academic advising. I try to get involved with some programs just to keep myself busy, because I knew my home life was a challenge, and I knew the school life, I was barely learning how to adopt and establish and maintain um, uh, the criteria, what it took to be collegial. So it was a difficult task. It was a hard task, but it wasn't impossible. And in the word impossible, I've always said this. I found out, I realized this a long time ago, is the word possible. But even then, there's the word I'm. So I would say I'm possible. I would always tell myself that I'm possible to be successful. You know, a lot of students have the tendency to want to make excuses. They use the word they can't, or they use the word they will not, or they won't. But in the word can't is the word can. So I kind of adopted that saying I can, and then I can, I will, I am. I can be successful. I will be successful. I am going to be successful. So that's the growth mindset mentality that I had to adopt. I had to tell myself, let's develop a different mindset, a different mentality. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share another uh give me 1 second. So I'm going to share this screen with you. I want to share it because I think it's very important. Um, this is I'm showing you tidbits of my dissertation here. This is one that I think that students need to adopt. So within each of the 10 steps involved in a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, students need to inhibit positive habits and will be able to develop grit once they adopt resilience. So students need to have a vision. They need to have intense focus on a goal. So they almost have to have a tunnel vision, kind of like a horse has that vision of looking forward, right? That tunnel vision. They need to be hopeful, believe that it's possible, believe to achieve, and never give up. They need to be patient. I can tell you, I'm one of the most patient people. I went to school from 1993. I started college in 1993, and I just finished my last step in 2023. So it's super patient. I'm not encouraging that people take that same path, but it can happen if you put your mind to it. You want to have courage. You want to establish great effort and hard work. Refrain from mistakes and failures. If you make a mistake or you fail, learn from it. That's wisdom. That's gaining wisdom. If you fall, get back up. Be creative. Find a better way. Establish a better way. Be persistent. Resolve. Find a way. Find a solution to make it happen. Resilient. Adapt and adopt resilience. Adapt to resiliency. Have the mental toughness. Don't give up. Like I said, people say that it's impossible. They want to make sure that it's possible, and they say that I'm possible. Okay, if you hear the word won't, you see the word won in won't. So I could say that I've won. Okay, so you want to be able to reflect back and establish that mentality. And when you do that, you will establish grit. That's establishing a growth mindset. See, the problem was before, a lot of the people back in the day would establish that, and even today, they establish that fixed mindset. They accept, that was me. I accept whatever comes, whatever happens. If you see something, you live through it and you move on, but you accept it. And that's not the way it should be. It shouldn't be just socially accepted. So, so moving forward, after my great experience at Cal State Fullerton, I went ahead and decided that I was going to enroll into Azusa Pacific University. And at Azusa Pacific University, I said to myself, I joined the teaching program, the counseling program, the administrative program. And I said, I think that I want to try all three. So I became a teacher. Uh, I started teaching English classes, and then I veered over to counseling. And then, when someone sees quality in you, they say, hey, you look like you'd be a good administrator. So I went after the administrative position. I became an administrator for a couple years. And then after becoming an administrator, I said, I want to go back to my first love. My first love is counseling within the K through 12 ranks. So then I became a counselor. I've been a counselor for the last, I want to say 16 years. But on top of that, I decided 21 years ago that I wanted to be an adjunct professor teacher at the community college. So I've taken on a 2-tier role of a counselor during the day and a teacher within the evening. And my class has just been going phenomenal. So once I finished going to Azusa Pacific, I decided to re-enroll to Azusa Pacific to get my administrative credential once my schooling continued. And then, like I said, I became an administrator. But I went ahead and got a second master's degree. And I always knew that I wanted to be the first, not only to graduate college, but I wanted to go after my doctorate. And ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great honor because we just celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And had the wonderful holiday. But I do want to say that during Dr. Martin Luther King, when I first learned about Dr. King was in 8th grade. And I'll back up a little bit. So in 8th grade, I gave a speech, the I Have a Dream speech. I have a dream that one day. So I gave that speech in front of all 8th grade students in the commons area. And while I was there, it was a great opportunity because I realized that Dr. King was very young. I believe he was 25 years of age with a doctorate, and he was very educated, and he was vocal about what he believed in. So I respected that. And I said, one day, I want to be like Dr. King and I want to get my doctorate. Well, fast forward my life 30 years later, as of last December, I finished my doctorate in educational leadership. The first, the only out of my 81 friends, the first, the only out of my neighborhood, the first, the only out of my family. And I'm just proud. And I didn't do it for myself. I did it for my friends who didn't make it, who fell short of the glory. I did it for my family, for my dad, who only went to the 8th grade, and my mom just went to high school, didn't have the chance to go to college. I did it for my grandparents who were 83 and 82 years old, who could not read. So it's paying homage to them. Remember, I represent the last name on my back. I have my mom and my dad on my shoulders to say, make the right decision, do what's right, have that growth mindset to move forward. Don't be on a fixed mindset where you're saying, behind, you're accepting whatever happens. That's not the mentality that you want to have. Okay, so right now at this time, do we have any questions before I continue? No questions. Okay. I'm going to show you 2 grids that I created. I want to share with you. I think it's really cool because it breaks down what I believe is the truth. Okay. So this is a grid that infographic that I created, and it's now published. So I own it. It's amazing to be able to say that. This is my infographic. That's Adrian Reel's Pursuit to Happiness infographic matrix. It's a matrix I created in 2022. So pursuit to happiness. For someone to receive full happiness, they want to establish a self-fulfilling promise. Step 1, self-fulfillment. Feel included, be in it to win it. Take one step at a time. We want to establish SMART goals, specific, measurable, etc. goals. Fulfill basic needs. become an innovator, empower yourself, and be part of the solution. Okay. So a lot of us, when we have a fixed mindset, we can be part of the problem. With a growth mindset, we want to be part of the solution. We want to find a way, make the pathway to be successful. Step 2, self-regulation. Keep emotions in check. Whether you're going through a hard time, an easy time, a joyous time, you want to keep your emotions in check. Try to stay balanced. Sustain a mental balance. Maximize your potential. Realize that you can be the best. Like I tell you, when I get out of bed, I am ready to go. I say, I'm the best. I'm number one. I want to rise to the top. Keep on going. Go through the finish line. Be number one. Second to none. That's my mentality that I have on a daily basis. I want to reward myself or reward yourself. Never, ever give up. Establish integrity even when no one else is around. Establish a structured routine. Step 3, self-awareness. Be aware of the process, have hope, and be strong. Remember that you are loved no matter what the situation is. There's someone there that loves you, who's by your side, who's walking, person's walking behind you, pushing you forward. Person's walking to the right and left with you to walk with you to move forward. Establish a vision for yourself. Take pride in what you seek. Keep your sights on your dream. And personal responsibility and daily effort. Establish belief. Have faith. Reap what you sow. Establish desire. Have ganas. That means desire. Always try your best. Establish hope. Have grit. Challenge yourself to be better. Enjoy yourself and be happy. This is a matrix that I took in a stride. It took me a while to come up with, but after a lot of thought, a lot of processing, a lot of experience, exposure, and expertise, this is what I came up with. And it's just a great opportunity to be able to share this with you guys today. Do we have any questions at this time? I'm going to share one more matrix with you that I created. Let me pull it up really quick. Okay, this matrix is Adrian Rios is parents, teachers, students creating a path to success. So again, in 2022, let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you. Can everybody see it okay? I'm assuming you can. Let's do this. Okay, so how to support urban students who face obstacles and want to enhance a growth mindset to sustain education resiliency. You use motivational strategies, positive reinforcement, parental support, peer teaching, and establishing a reward system. There's educational theories that I took in a stride. The growth mindset theory by Dweck, 2015, grit theory by Duckworth, 2018, path goal theory by House and Mitchell, 1975, and the situational approach theory of Hershey and Blanchard, 1969. So leadership skills that are developed. It's important to be a good leader. You need to be a servant leader first. Good leaders must become great servants first. Greenleaf, 1904. Transformational leaders inspire others. The focus is on productivity and having a strong vision. So it's important to be a servant leader first before going on into the workforce or life of becoming and calling yourself a leader. Creating a pathway to success. It is important to become college and career ready. Master daily essentials of reading, writing, speaking, listening, and thinking. Those are the skills that we want to build upon. We want to be good writers. If we read a lot, we're going to be better writers. If we write a lot, we'll be better speakers, vice versa. If we listen, we can pick up content, knowledge, wisdom, experience, exposure to help ourselves to think and be critical thinkers. Metacognition, think about thinking. Coping mechanisms. We want to be positive thinkers. Establish positive thinking. You can use meditation to calm that calm state, journaling, writing, and expressing yourself and having that visualization. Social emotional learning, SEL, having a mental balance on universal emotions is keys. You have a variety of the universal emotions of sadness, anger, disgust, fear, interest, surprise, happiness, and there are additional ones. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any questions at this time? Okay, so continuing with my educational journey, Um, I decided during pandemic, we're facing the world's outcry, the treacherous pandemic of, I think it was 2019, February 2019. I decided to enroll myself into a doctoral program. I took a chance. I said, I don't know how long this pandemic's gonna last, but I started the program physically, face to face. And then after a couple outings of going, they decided that we are going to go 100% online. So I decided that I was going to, um, I decided that I was going to keep going, keep pursuing the program and 100% online. So I was able to work from home, doing all my work um, consistently. So I dedicated myself working during the day, working mid hours, teaching classes, teaching ESL classes to students from 18 different countries. So I considered it an international class. And then from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock evening, 7 days a week, I dedicated myself to pursue this study on education resiliency. And I was the first time I've ever taken on an approach like that. It was the first time I've ever done anything of that capacity. So I wanted to be successful. I wanted to get as much content-based knowledge as possible, establishing that growth mindset and keep it going. So my focus was to be the best, to try to be the best. If I fell short of the glory, at least I was learning content knowledge. But fast forward my life 3 years later, and I was able to finish. And it's just a marvelous opportunity to say that I'm now part of the 0.2% of Latinos that have finished their doctorate. So it's a great honor to say, to pay homage to my parents, my grandparents, my teachers, my counselors, other peers, guys that I grew up with, etc. And this is dedicated to all of them. And in my dissertation, I have a whole list of people that I've thanked, because if it wasn't for them, they're the ones that shaped me. They're the ones that made me. They're the ones that pushed me. They're the ones that guided me. They're the ones that helped me move forward. And here I am today. I've been in education now 31 years. I started in 1992 when I graduated. A couple months later, they called me back. I've been in education since. I've been an activities monitor, a coach, a teacher, mentor, counselor, administrator, lead counselor, back to counselor, just regular counselor, and loving every bit of it. So it's just been a great opportunity to be able to establish that. All right, that concludes my presentation at this time. If anybody has questions, go right ahead. If you can verbally ask that question, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Hey, so I was wondering, what advice do you have for students who have taken a long break from school and are now coming back, either from high school or from college? Say they went into their career and they've been out of school for a while, and now they're back and they're trying to adapt to the new modalities, and in addition to juggling their personal lives.
Right. Thank you for asking the question. There are phases in our lives. So people go through phases where they get married, they have children, etc. So most of the mature students, I think the most mature students are the ones that end up coming back. I worked at an alternative ed for many, many years, and a lot of those students would take breaks and they would come back. And the goal was to get them to graduate and to move forward. So I would say that try to have them focus on motivating strategies. I would say they need to establish a mentorship, get into a mentorship program. If they're high school students, there's programs like Upward Bound or Puente. There are key in establish a great relationship with their counselors. Their counselors can help them because they know of programs and outlets that can guide them with community resources. So I would say make a connection with their counselors, establish community resources, have them provide, have them get them involved in mentorship programs, and take advantage of the new modalities that are there, because We have online learning. We have like our program at CEC. We deal with adults, so a lot of those students are coming back. They have high school subjects programs. A lot of the students that come back didn't graduate high school, so we get them into the program, the high school subjects program that allows them to get a high school diploma or have establish the high set test and or their GED. So there are programs for almost everybody. So I think the key element is get them involved to establish a relationship with a local counselor. Go to their local community college to get started if they are above high school. And the best advice I have is it's not where you start, it's where you finish or how you finish. It took me 30 years to finish all my steps, and there's not anybody that I know that's gone through that same journey taking that long, but I wanted to do it. So I think if I can do it, facing the adversity I face, they could do it. So that's the motivation that I have for them.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other questions? All right. No more questions. I think I'll just make myself available. If anybody has any other questions at this time, I can answer uh any. Alejandra or Dominic, do you have any questions about, or can I know what you guys do at this time?
No questions from me. I'm an adjunct. I teach math.
Very good, very good. So how do you inspire your children by learning math?
Activities. I personalize. I try to personalize the lessons. So I try to collect data from them. And I teach mostly statistics. So I try to collect their own personal information and then use that in the classroom. So it's kind of like something they can use that's
Very
personal
good.
to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I took a statistics class, and our teacher tied it into sports. So we were able to analyze and break down the statistical data for the Los Angeles Lakers, et cetera. So it was a good way to do that.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. I use some football and basketball.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
great.
notice that enthusiasm goes way higher.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I
Mhm.
mean, keep inspiring these students. And if they, for some reason, they're lacking the confidence, I would encourage them, if they could, to watch, some great movies out there that will motivate them about math. One of the movies that I liked growing up was Stand and Deliver. That was a great movie for me to take in a stride, and it gave me some inspiration to want to move forward in my educational journey.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I like that.
Thank you. What
Thank
about
you.
Dominic? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that concludes the presentation. I was able to share 4 slides with you and just give you some tidbits of my educational journey. It's been amazing. It's been rewarding. And this is the beginning. I have a speech communication. I have a speech communication background, so I want to try to continue to give presentations and try to perfect my craft of delivering some good presentations based on student needs and student endeavors. And I want to help people. I've been helping people within my community for the last 25 years of getting them back to school. My brother recently, while I was achieving my doctorate, after 27 years, he decided to go back, and he also earned 2 college degrees while I was finishing mine. But he said that I think him along with his daughter were trying to inspire him, and he got motivated to go back. So I think just sometimes not saying anything, just leading by example. This speaking to Alex as well, leading by example can be the best message. Just go out and do it, and you do it, for them, or you lead that pathway, and then they'll follow. So that's what happened with my older brother. He finally got his act together and decided to go back after 27 years. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that concludes our time with no further questions. Thank you for attending and have a great one. Thank you for everything. Appreciate it.